Anime Summit, episode 66.
If I shit myself, I'm ditching them undies. Fuck that.
Hello and welcome to the Anime Summit podcast. My name is Quokka, and with me I've got Sam.
What up?
Mac.
Well, let me tell you, I was sitting on my porch drinking a beer and fuck her right in the pussy.
And Nick.
Hello.
And later in the episode,
That's all I got today, man.
we're going to talk about a little bit of like why we have the taste that we do and what exactly we think is the cause of our taste being as terrible as it is, and what it's also going to be a tiny bit sort of like a preview for the fall season, in just that we're going to talk about the things that we look for in shows for the next season, not just going through every show because those are terrible because we don't know enough about the shows, but like what kind of things you look at, you know, when you look at it in those shows, when you're picking them to add to your next to watch list that you're never going to catch up on.
Because it's an infinite backlog.
So anyway,
And that's how things go. Infinite backlog.
How you guys doing?
Pretty horrible.
That's nice.
I am
Fantastic.
I'm doing great,
10 out
Bob.
of 10.
I'm doing great, Bob.
Living the dream.
Yeah, not a whole lot of news.
No, not a whole lot of news, really. Not
In
a whole
some
lot
news,
of news.
Narcos season 2 came out on Netflix last Friday, and I watched all of it, and it is good. You should all watch it.
Is that a 3D show, Quokka? Because I don't know
Yep.
about those.
So there's one actress in Narcos season 2. She's gorgeous. Apparently she's 35 and she looks like a good 17. Like a good 17. Like she just looks super youthful.
Oh, she's got that
and attractive.
Elizabeth Hurley, Austin Powers 1 aesthetic. She was like 30,
Sure.
but she looked like she was 20. So, but she was British, so she kind of still looked like she was 30. But you know what I mean? That accent adds 10 years.
Sure,
That's why British
something-
children sound like geniuses. Have you ever listened to them on YouTube?
Like, I quite
No,
like
I
this
have not.
crumpet.
And you're like, oh my god, he's a genius.
No,
Uh,
nobody is like that.
I don't know what's going on here. I really don't.
Oh, and I caught up on Orange. The art is just getting worse and worse with that show.
Yeah, they pulled the Gurren Lagann episode 4 where they just said fuck it. Apparently they had
even
they didn't have that many
even-
staff for this episode, so that's what I heard. I don't know.
well, I mean, episode 9 was a lot worse than episode 10, but
As far as
yeah.
animation, yeah, I mean, or because TMS Entertainment did like 3 shows. They did like Real Life, Orange, and something else. I forgot the other one.
Did you guys see like the little screen captures I was posting?
Yeah,
Like-
it's,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like
Like,
even in that episode, even like those scenes that are supposed to be like well drawn that earlier in the series would look good, these ones started to look like her eyes are too far to the left side of her face. Like what are we looking at?
Well, then
She's
there's this
glancing.
one I posted where it's Hagita, the guy with the glasses, and like he's close enough where his face should be like properly drawn. Well, all of them should be properly drawn, but like one of his pupils takes up like a good portion of his eye, like normally, and then the other eye looks like he's far away. They're like 2 different eyes completely, and it's just like, what are you doing?
One
He's
where
high
it
as
just
fuck,
had
dude.
Kakeru, and he was the only. It was just him in a white background, and he still looked crappy, and it just sat there and zoomed out for a little bit. Like, what the fuck? Is
Oh
this?
yeah.
Show's still good, and I like what it's doing, but like the art is going
Oh yeah,
downhill.
the art is like I try and like put it out of my mind when I'm watching it because I'm just like, whatever. But
Anyway, let's
Still
do,
not as bad as Berserk.
it's worse than Berserk.
No,
Let's
it's
do
not.
a
It is,
waifu.
you don't know what's good.
Waifu for
Waifu?
laifu.
Sam, I don't mean the
Waifu-
original Berserk. I mean 2016 Berserk.
Why? Let's do.
Yeah, I know,
Let's
I'm
do
saying,
waifu
you know.
of the weeku. Waifu of the weeku.
The waifu of the week. What do we
Who's
got?
Some nominations for waifu of the week.
Oh, I've got a suggestion that'll make Nick salty.
Is it
whatever
a
you
side
wanna say,
character from
salty.
Hibiki
Well, say it.
Euphonium? Oh, it's the Sleepy
No,
Senpai.
Natsuki from Hibike. You know the other.
It is
Sleepy
Sleepy
Yeah,
Senpai.
I called it. Wow.
Sleepy Senpai.
Yeah, I
man.
literally called it. I was totally guessing. But I was
Dude, you
right.
mad? You mad?
Not even
Dude,
mad. I already
Sleepy
know you
Senpai
so
the
well.
best.
Yeah, so wife of the
You
week is
bet.
Sleepy Senpai from Hibike Euphonium.
Terrible waifu. She has no
Hi bye
character.
Get
Ufotable.
outta
Her
here.
character is that she likes to sleep. That's it.
No, it isn't. Did you watch the show?
Apparently, he didn't.
I watched it. Yes. What else did she do?
So you
Oh, and
missed
she-
all of the development
also-
that she has?
She also likes to try a little bit, but then she
See,
doesn't
this
try.
this must have been one of his shows that he just listened to it and didn't actually watch it.
No, I watched.
just like, yeah,
no,
I'm
the
gonna
whole
put it
point
on
of
the
Hibiki is to
background
watch
and
it. You
listen
got
to
to
it.
look at that animation.
But he never listened to what anything was going on.
Yeah,
I
he
just put it
never,
on mute.
He never
he
read
never,
the
he never read the
subtitles.
subs. He just kind of
What I
listened
do is
to it.
I
He
put
was
it on
like,
mute, and then I have the like an audio track of like a slaughterhouse just playing in the background. Yeah, no, not really.
Slaughterhouse 5 is a good movie, if that's what you're trying to say.
Shout out to the league.
Slaughterhouse 2 is a great Sega game.
I like how Slaughterhouse 5 is like a movie, and there's not like Slaughterhouse 1 through 4. It's just Slaughterhouse 5. And it has nothing to really do with murder.
I like how it's not
It's
even an
about
anime.
cool story, bro. Cool story.
Thank God they
Whatever,
made that
just
into an
saying.
anime. Just kidding.
So, Life of the Week is Sleepy Senpai, Natsuki Senpai. You should tweet at us pictures of her being sleepy
Also, maybe pictures of her eating.
and kawaii.
or she. Well, I mean, she's an excellent bro. I mean,
Just about Hibike. There's that one scene later on in the season where it actually shows the teacher standing next to the girls, and you realize like he's tall and they're like short, and that just made them all look really adorable. Because when Japanese
Yes, it
girls
did.
are just standing next to Japanese girls, you don't realize how short they are until they stand next to apparently a tall ass Japanese guy.
dude. When I was in Japan, I was like, holy shit, dude. I'm like kind of tall compared to these guys. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. And Mac, we're all like 5'8", 5'9". So it's like none of us are tall. Kolka's like 5'10",
Yeah.
5'11".
5'11".
I'm 5'6".
I'm like 5'8" and a half.
Oh no, I'm
I
like
think,
5'5".
technically.
I'm like
Som, he
5'5".
meant height, not circumference.
Shut up, bitch. I'm 5'5".
That's not even that's width.
Oh, get fucked.
It's diameter. Just kidding. But anyway,
5'5".
anime.
Yeah,
Anime.
so
Anyway,
Natsuki Senpai.
Wow. Let's keep talking about
So-
something that's not anime.
There's one thing I kind of wanted to talk about that maybe the more I think about, maybe I'm just a retard that never realized this about my own tastes, while everybody else in the world already was like, yeah, obviously, bro. So we'll find out right now because I haven't told you guys about what this specifically is. Anyway,
Is this the main topic?
yeah, I guess.
Okay. I'm just
Talking
awkwardly
about
transitioning into it.
why we like things. I don't know, transition
It's
stuff.
all part of it. It all kind of goes together, yeah.
Welcome to the main topic.
Okay, don't do that. Just go ahead, Colton.
Cue the main topic intro music. Go, Sam, hit it.
Da-na-na. Main main, oh shit. Main topic. It's oh God. Sorry.
This is some late night
Okay.
Adult Swim shit right here.
Okay, just
Okay.
okay. Stop the trump. Just don't play the trumpet anymore, but Bob. Just don't play the. Okay. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. I'm okay. Go ahead, Quokka. I'll
Is this like the
have
Tim
him,
and Eric show now? What the fuck?
I'll just have him fired. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh God.
It sounds like coming himself a little bit.
Okay. I'm so nervous. Okay. Don't play the music anymore. Okay. Go ahead. Oh God.
Just start talking. It's fine. You can talk over his
Okay,
over
so,
his orgasms.
Like I was, so when I was in Prague, right? When I was walking around Prague and eating my convenience store sandwich on a bench next to the river and thinking about design and stuff, because this one thing that I kind of realized I'm really interested in when I travel is not specifically architecture, but like design of a city, like how the different decisions and societal constraints affect how a city's developed. So like Prague, you have all these different mixed architectures because of the fact that it is really steeped in history and never got like massively destroyed like most Western European cities and like Tokyo and stuff like that. So it's got all these different mixed architectures. I was just thinking about that And then thinking about how like Tokyo has a few really big streets and a bunch of really tiny ones that are like barely alleyways because of the fact so many people just use public transport, and that city, burned down when we blew the fuck out of it. And I was just thinking about that stuff a little bit. And I've been watching a lot of videos and listening to podcasts and reading books about design in general. Like 99% Invisible is a great podcast about design. I was reading The Fountainhead and watching some Gamer Ray videos. Just
Fountainhead. Wait, is that what's her name?
It's by Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand. Oh man.
Yeah. So I was reading The Fountainhead, which is about architecture and design and purposeful design.
Ayn Rand sucks.
Ayn Rand does
Ayn
not
Rand's
give
pretty
me a
good.
chub.
Anyway, the books are long as fuck though. Anyway,
Unlike my penis.
I kind of realized that just like looking at a bunch of the other parts of my life and realizing how that affected my view of anime specifically is minimalism. Like when I travel, I take a small backpack that has the bare minimum of what I need to,
Well, it's got some rope, it's got some
terribly.
duct tape, it's got a knife. That's all Cloak needs.
Yeah. No, it's like
and a water bottle so he can pee in it and then drink.
like I
his
went
own
to
piss.
Europe with a pair of sandals, a pair of shorts, like 2 pairs of underwear, and 2 shirts, and
Well, Coco,
Jam
what
off
happened?
my
What
clam
if
out,
what if
man.
you pooped your pants? Like, what would happen then?
Yeah, dude.
I
Because if I poop my pants, dude,
washing
I'm
my
ditching.
clothes. I don't know
nah,
what you.
Nah. If I shit myself, I'm ditching them undies.
Yeah,
Fuck
you,
that.
you gotta burn that stuff, dude. Speaking of which, I should probably burn some of my underwear. It's a little
Well,
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Luckily,
Nick
Nick,
has
I'm a
some,
grown ass man who knows how to have regular bowel movements. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't act like you didn't poop the bed. Whatever.
Try watching Pupa and then
So-
get back to me.
Since like in my normal life, like I have no problem spending additional money to get something that's like particularly good at what it is to save weight and size, and if it can handle more rolls better type of a thing. Like these are things that don't have a problem going for the premium, but I don't just buy stuff. Like when I went to Japan, I bought one tiny little figure that was like my only thing. My only
way
what's the
Quokka
word?
could-
I'm blanking.
You could
on the
stash it up
word.
his anal cavity
When you
avoid
go
the
and you
airport scrutiny.
buy things at like a gift shop, what's the word? Trinket?
Souvenir.
Souvenir. God damn. That was my only souvenir. So when I was thinking about that and just things that I was realizing about design, I realized anime, you can tell whether or not I'm going to like it by if it sticks to a core theme. And that is almost it. Like everything else kind of goes to the wayside. If it finds one thing that it's trying to do and it sticks to doing that, then I'm going to be pretty happy with it. Because looking at things like,
That's not true. That's not true. You didn't like Asterisk War, and they stuck to being
they're stuck
sucky.
to being shitty.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
I
thing
got
is
another
they
counterexample for you, Coke. I
Asterisk
think you
War
would-
hit a bunch of stuff and then just kind of like shat all over it and went on to do something else. And then went off to do
But they
something
were
else. And then went off to do something
consistently
else.
shitty. They were consistently
So it's like
shitty.
things like One Piece and stuff, like the only thing that they stick to is trying to make
King
it
of the
last as long
Pirates?
as fucking possible, and
King of
that
the
it
Pirates?
maybe sort of has pirates in
slow
it,
jerk.
but it's kind of like it doesn't get to where it's trying to go. You guys stick to it. So it's like things like Madoka,
Moving-
very specific in that what they're trying to accomplish. Everything has purpose. It's not just there to take up time.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a counterexample for you though, Quokka. I think you would hate Haibane Renmei. Because Haibane Renmei is one of those shows that like, I'm not trying to like derail a conversation, but it's one of those shows with like kind of a very focused theme or a couple set of themes. But if you, this is where I disagree with you a little bit. If you can't empathize with those themes, then you're not going to like the show, even if it's focused, even if it's well made.
Well, I think also
Possibly.
Coca's
I mean, that's pretty
Coca's series is a
slow
little
pushing.
broad though too. It's like that could be a lot of anime. I mean, well, I don't know.
I think that's one aspect of. I mean, just being
Well, it's the
focused
nature
doesn't
of,
mean
like,
it's going to be good
you-
though. Like Orange, I'm Orange from this
That's-
season is
that-
focused.
Nick,
I don't think it's
It's
particularly
irrelevant.
good.
It doesn't need to be good. I said this is why I'm gonna like it.
Okay, well, for me,
I'm
it's
inherently going to
for me,
it's
connect to
different,
the. I'm
though.
inherently
Yeah.
going to connect the show and like it if it finds out, if it knows what it's trying to do and it sticks to trying to do that. And
Yeah.
maybe like some shows have a little bit of times when they kind of go off to do something else a little bit, but they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And it just needs to, stick to doing that. Like everything has to have a purpose within the whole scope. Like if it doesn't need to be there, it's not there. Just don't put it there.
So let me ask you.
It's that,
so
that
you're
German word. It's like a long German word. That
Like
means
my biggest
everything
complaints
kinda builds
about
into
Your Lie in
itself.
April are the slapsticky comedy stuff because it just doesn't need to be there. It serves no decent purpose.
No, I think
within the
that was
show.
fine. Actually, I didn't have a
I
big
had
problem
no
with that.
problem with it either.
Yeah.
I mean,
It gave the
seemed
character.
like
It gave the characters character. Like if
he,
unlike
but I
the
think
show
what
like
Coco-
Orange, like the characters don't have that much character. But in Your Lie in April, they had more charm.
they had depth.
But I
Because
think
it wasn't all just sadness and stuff. There
No,
was depth.
yeah,
to it.
you
There
need-
was
you need a little bit of
complexity
both.
the emotions.
There's a difference though. It can have comedy without it being slapsticky comedy.
Well, you don't like slapstick.
Like it can
That's
be
fine.
lighthearted. No, it's specifically within that context because I love stuff like Nichijou, which is just slapstick comedy.
the deer
That's
fight.
like the entire show. You just don't put that into something like Your Lie in April. You can put lighthearted moments and those things where it's like, hey, everything's not actually so bad, and we're just having some fun. We're high school kids, whatever. Let's laugh. But when it just goes ridiculous to that side, where it's just like, what are you doing?
Well,
So-
I think that's a good palate cleanser though in the show because it's like kind of like a sine wave. It goes up and down. It's not just all melancholy the whole show like Orange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Hating on Orange a lot
what I
this
just said,
episode.
Nick.
well, so
And that's why I think the comedy works. That's why I think it works in Your
No,
Lie in April. It's not like
I'm
the
saying
best
it
thing
didn't
ever.
need to be
It's not the best comedy.
slapsticky like it was.
I think that was fine. I don't know. I didn't have a complaint with it.
So, Kolka, can you like name some pretty specific examples of animes that have done that for you?
Monoka
Well, you're-
Magica.
Mm,
Every
okay.
single
AKA
scene
the
in
only
that is
AKA the only show
extremely
Coco likes.
important to the whole. Like there's
Yeah.
almost nothing that you can really cut out. Even though they tried with the movies, they cut like a little bit,
Actually, you know what?
and it was
What I
probably
should
the
ask,
least important part.
Okay, not
So what I
okay,
sh-
go ahead.
what I should ask is, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
what
go
I should
ahead,
ask
you're
so like you're saying that regardless if it's good or not, you'll still keep watching it, or does it still have to be good?
It'll get rid of a lot. Like I will enjoy it.
I'm gonna try to find a
There's
counterexample.
a slight difference there between what is good and what I will necessarily enjoy. Like I can see Sweetness and Lightning and see that it's not particularly good, but
But you
I'm
enjoy
enjoying it because it just has this simple thing going for it, and it doesn't have a problem just being that.
I think I'm the same way with that show. But yeah, okay. I'm trying to like
I think everybody's the
refine
same
what
way.
I'm just trying to refine what you're saying a little bit so I can understand. But I think
Because like when I was watching a video that was talking about Inside.
Mhm.
If you've seen that game, the new game from the guys that created Limbo, and I guess Limbo
yeah.
because it's the same kind of thing. Something like the creators were talking about it, and it was basically if any situation, like a lot of games when they're being made, especially if you look at stuff like Fable, it's like how much stuff can we put in this? How much more can we put into it? And Limbo and Inside are very much like what can we take out? What is like the minimum that we need to have this overall story being told? Or not being told.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
So
So it's like if a puzzle doesn't need something to be there, it doesn't. Like in Inside, you're never gonna be able to interact with something that does not have a purpose. You're not just gonna be like, oh, here's this
Yeah.
random thing that I can move around that doesn't do
But
anything.
that's-
No, if you can move a box, you need it for something.
That's the same as what Breaking Bad did. It's like I forgot the term for it, but there's a term that means like every scene and like part of the show matters. They don't have like expository bullshit that's like, oh, this character is just riding a bicycle for
Yeah,
no
a
reason
bit.
or whatever.
I mean, Breaking Bad had other issues, but it was.
But that's
overall
what
pretty
the
good.
show tried to make everything kind of connect together.
Yeah,
And so that's what you like, and you like focused like one theme.
like minimalist stories overall, which also
So
why I love
Angel's
short
Egg.
stories and short
Bam!
anime. Yeah, Angel's Egg.
The show that
Fuck
Mac
that.
fucking
that was
hates.
terrible.
Oh my
Angel's Egg.
God.
It's something that I definitely kind of
I love
enjoy
how
it. And
much
I think
Mac
people
hates
should
it.
see it, but it's either pretentious or useless. I don't really feel.
I don't
like
think it's
that
pretentious at all. I think it's
I
fucking
feel it's
awesome.
extremely
just think it's
pretentious
useless?
and it's a waste of time.
I don't think it's pretentious, but I do think it's kind of useless because even the creator said they didn't know what the
It's
fuck
not. It
they were
doesn't
doing.
matter what the creator said. That's authorial intent. Who gives a fuck about
doesn't
that?
matter what the
Let's have
people.
on
It
that-
literally
let's have
doesn't.
that
It doesn't
topic.
matter what they say. It doesn't
Death
matter what
of
they
the
say.
author.
Nope, doesn't matter. Literally
That's
doesn't
like the
matter.
people-
what they say. Nope.
That's like the people who say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this car and I'm not even gonna read the owner's manual."
That's
to
different.
fuck what the
Cars,
people who make
cars
it
are
say."
objective.
No,
Anime is
no.
subjective, Max. Cars
Get
have
outta here.
quantifiable numbers that you can add up. You can't do that with an anime. So
I do kind of
fuck
see what
outta
Nick's
here.
saying there, though, because I mean, you could watch it and have your own kind of truth to it. It's
Do
just
we,
like-
do we need to have another episode, a whole episode where we just talk about Death of the Author? Is that what
Yeah,
we
no,
need?
let's not do
Yeah,
that
we
again.
should.
Fuck that.
We should, yeah. Anyways, moving on. So, would
Uh,
you say like when you're gauging for like your next show to watch and you read the synopsis, you can kind of use that logic you have and pick a show?
No,
or
it's absolutely useless for that purpose whatsoever.
So you have to start watching it before
Because
you
because the synopsis, every show looks either good or entirely bland from the synopsis. Like the synopsis is kind of useless for
So
my
do you
purposes
go? Do
because
you
you
go
don't know
off
how
of
it's
the
going to be
genre tags? Then
presented.
do you
What
go
was
off
that?
genre tags? Genre tags.
Not
Do you
really.
use those
I'm
instead?
fairly cross genre as well.
Oh, what about Fujo bait shows like?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
like,
Fujo bait shows. If there's a man in small shorts on the cover,
What are the boys
man.
called?
So
Shota?
speaking of how you
Y'all
pick
niggas gay.
so speaking of how you pick shows, I mean like how do Mac and Nick do it? You know, how do you guys do it?
Yeah, how do you guys do it?
I know how Mac does it.
I'm terrible
Mac
at
said-
it.
The more feels it has, the better. That's Max.
Well, I typically do feels hunt. I like feels heavy shows, but like this season I kind of experimented with, if there's anything that's moderately interesting, may it be in the art or the genre tags or in the synopsis, as bland as not and as non-descriptive as they are, then I was going to give it a shot. But typically, like, I kind of go off of the art and the PVs whenever it comes to watching a show that's going to be airing.
Yeah, you
And,
can usually tell.
Yeah, and big things for me personally is I don't like stuff that's like super fantasy shit. I don't like it, like magic shit and all that. I just
Oh, like fairy tale
I'm not-
type thing, or
I'm not big into those kind
or
of shows.
Sword Art Online, or
Um,
Log Horizon. All sort of
well, Sword Art not so much, neither Log Horizon, but
like ReZero. Have you seen any of that?
I've seen a little bit of ReZero, and as much as I hate to admit it, I'm probably gonna have to end up watching
Well,
it.
we were gonna do an episode of that, weren't we? Once it's finished.
I don't know. But anyway,
Anyway,
I just
we
want to
should.
say,
That's my
fans,
opinion.
if you hear us say something that sounds like a show that you know of, you should tweet at us telling us about it.
Tweeted us asking
Because
if you want ReZero.
we all need
Or what?
our plan to watch lists to be bigger, of course.
So
mine's like
Nick, how do
300.
you? So I don't even want to ask Nick that question because he just watches everything.
Oh no no no
but-
no no no! I dropped
Especially
stuff
if
too.
it's terrible.
So
I like
how
bad
do you
stuff.
how do you
Feels
choose
good,
stuff,
man.
Sam?
I'll answer the question too, but yeah, Sam, go ahead.
It's a big question actually that I asked. Whoops. If I shit.
Get
If, okay, I mean, the art is a big. The art design is a big thing for me. Like the way the characters look, the way they're drawn. Orange didn't particularly look too attractive to me when I first saw like the thing for it, but it was one of the most hyped ones, and the premise seemed cool, so that's why I started watching it. But like,
Oh, that's something that neither Quokka or I included. Sorry to interject, but was hype.
Oh, you
yeah.
guys don't pay attention to
Yeah.
that?
I mean, I'll use hype for picking a show. It has nothing to do with whether I'll enjoy it. It might
Yeah.
be inverse even.
Like if something's like ridiculously overhyped, it's gonna be hit or miss with me as to
Well,
whether I give it the time.
But
or
of course,
day
we have to
even
watch
try
it because that's our job.
This is another topic, but nothing can live up to the hype ever.
What
So,
you mean? You mean 91 Days isn't the next Evangelion?
No.
okay, anyways, I also really don't like anything that looks what I would believe to be, and this is just me, okay? So like Everyone calm down. But what I believe to be a generic action show.
Oh, triggered. Oh,
So, like, So like
Naruto.
if you even are looking at like the My Anime List Summer 2016 like page,
Oh, Alderman of the Sky or whatever.
yeah, like that looks,
That show's pretty fucking generic.
like yeah, like look at them. It's like they're all in like these cool dark suits. They got a gun. The main chick's got a sword or something, or Caladia Code or whatever. It's like the main character on the front of the poster has like this badass arm thing with like a suit and tie. They got a big sword guy who holds a big sword, guy with a smaller katana looking sword. It's just like whatever. That looks dumb.
Every
I mean,
shonen
Yeah.
of the 2000s.
that too, you know what I'm saying? But like or
Not every shonen, because Full Metal
Or-
Alchemist was fucking amazing. But
or B Project Kodo Ambitious or whatever, or on the On the Verge anime adaptation, like that just looks dumb. It looks like generic action. Here's a main character who can hold a big sword. He's really badass. Somehow,
yeah, Taboo
whatever.
Tattoo is another kind of generic one from the season.
And I also don't
Tales
like
of Zestiria.
different color hair girls all in high school trying to save a club. Bullshit. I think that's really stupid.
You heard it here first, folks.
See,
K-On! Is terrible.
Basically,
Nah, I
Psalm
can't-
is
nah.
super keyed into character designs as a thing about whether or not he's going to enjoy something.
He doesn't like generic action,
Nah.
but he likes power armor, like Symphogear.
Yeah, I like,
But that's
but
pretty
I go
fucking
into
generic, kinda.
watching. I go into watching those though, knowing that they are most likely going to be one way, and I don't have, you know what I mean. But even when I watched Maso Gaku and HXH, that was just terrible. I hated
that
that.
show was so fucking awful.
I hated
Well, that was body socks, not power armor.
I might
well,
go back and watch the uncensored version a little
That
bit
or
later. You
Power
know what
Armor.
I'm saying? No, I'm just
But
kidding.
like that's probably due.
not gonna.
That's
do that.
probably due to like me just falling in love with Galaxy Fraulein Yuno when I was younger. But it's really hard for me to pick a show. It's really hard for me to get into newer anime. It's every season when we come to a new season, it gets harder and harder, I think.
harder and harder. So you're
Um,
saying anime is dying, Sam? Even though we had a bunch of really fucking good shows come out recently. Wait,
Uh,
Yes,
have you
anime is
seen?
dying.
Bakuan is garbage. But
Have you
I mean,
seen Shogun Roku?
no, I didn't watch that.
Dude,
I was
okay.
told, I
Speaking
was
of
told to watch
shows
it.
Before the
that
year ends,
really
you gotta
stick
watch
to
it.
their principles, that is a show that very much
See,
it picks what's doing and it does it.
as much as we can all sit here and talk about, things that we're going to avoid and things that we don't typically like, I think at least for me, I don't know if you guys are included in this though, that to every rule there are exceptions and there are outliers. Like shows that, I typically wouldn't watch that I really enjoyed, and shining example is one that Quokka gets instantly hard about, Madoka Magica. I typically don't like magical girl shows, but that show was
To be
an
fair,
exception.
it's barely a magical girl show. Like
It's all about magical girls. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's like in theme, not principle.
It's all about magical girls. Boom. Enough said. But I mean, you are correct in what you're saying. That is an outlier to the magical girl genre.
Well,
But-
I could name a lot of other ones you might like. Maybe.
But I'm sure you could, Mr. I watch everything under the sun on while it's minimized, doing 5 other things at the same time. Yes, I'm sure you
Yeah,
could
dude.
recommend
I mean,
a
I-
shit ton of shows.
Just because I watch Utena while doing my taxes doesn't mean anything.
But you get what I'm saying though, that even though you can say I generally don't like this kind of show or I hate this, there are some shows out there that may surprise you. I know there's been some that have surprised me.
Like School Days, right,
It's
Mac?
like,
School Days was awful.
School Days was great. Mac's top 10 already.
again, what I define,
Tweet at Mac.
that's why I was going back to like this design minimalism. Presentation is the thing that is going to influence me the most.
Yeah,
is
and that's
how
true
do
for
you
everybody.
Accomplish your goals.
Like,
and-
okay,
Not even gonna make a statement about anything else about
the,
a
the,
show.
the hard thing about that though is that
That applies
That's
to
gonna
every.
vary
That applies
so
to like
much
the,
from
the
person
top.
to person,
But
though.
no. It doesn't really vary because look at the top list on Mal, and most of those shows look really good. They sound really good. Like Full Metal Alchemist is
No,
fucking
that's not what I
fantastic.
even mean by presentation. I'm talking
Well,
about
that's
design.
presentation.
That's not what he means.
Are you talking about animation and sound? Like, what are you talking about here?
No,
No.
I'm talking about the things that I said, which is design and presentation.
Oh, so you want something that's okay? Yeah, you were saying it has to be like congruent to like its themes and all that. Like, I get that, but what I'm saying actually on a side point is like the the surface level. What does it look like? What does it sound like? And what's the
Well,
premise?
obviously,
Because-
high production values are going to have, a very discernible impact on whether a show is going to be widely received or not.
especially because it's easy to justify that opinion to people. Like, it looks good.
exactly, but
It's
then
hard
again,
to be
you
like,
have to
oh
remember
no,
that
so X and Y character development is very strong. And it's like,
Most people don't give a fuck about the storyline or
Yeah,
how
most
good a
people don't
character
give a
is.
fuck about-
They just
about
want to
art.
see a spectacle. They want to see a spectacle, and I sympathize with that a lot. Actually, I am not like a big, the show doesn't have to be super logical. It just has to be good enough for me. It has to make sense, but it has to have those like peak moments that that you remember and that stick with me. If the show sticks with me, like the images and the sounds stick with me, that's what matters. And that's
Yeah,
like
I'm kind of like that too.
that's how I pick the shows, and like that's probably true for everybody, but for me especially, like the anime snob, we had him as a guest a while ago. He's on the other end totally. He doesn't give a fuck about anything as long as
well,
it's
it
like
just
logical.
needs to be old.
Well, no, it has to be logical because he likes
No,
Tatami
it
Galaxy.
needs to be good
It
and
has
from the
to be-
90s.
It
No,
has
that's
to
not
be,
true.
if I remember what he said correctly, it has to be logical. It has to have high stakes.
Yeah, that's basically it.
It has to be high stakes. It has to have, the typical 4-point story progression of conflict, build up, climax, resolution, all of that shit. It's got to
And
have
it has
that,
to be
that is
from
very
before
well
Pokemon.
defined.
No, that's not true. You're just bullshitting. You don't know what you're talking about.
GG.
I know what his top list is, but anyway, that's not the point. Like that's just one perspective, and like that's fine if you think that, but you're fucking
'cause I
not
was
gonna like
thinking,
that much stuff.
on
then.
that nature of like art and stuff. For the Makoto Shinkai stream, I had rewatched Voices of a Distant Star, and the art in that is terrible because I mean it was just Makoto Shinkai making this movie.
Oh, he did
on his
that like by
computer.
himself, yeah.
Yeah, like in the original version, he voiced the main character, and his girlfriend voiced the other character. That was he created every last bit of it, and they revoiced them for like a proper release. But the art's like not good, but you still see every part of his directorial style in that movie. Like it hasn't, like if you watch it and something like Garden of Words, even though the art totally completely different, you still can have that same like feelings that come out of it because of the nature of the directing.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of stuff that I'm keying into more and more and more as I like age and experience more. And that's just the part that really,
As we get
Like,
further
it just-
into
it
the
just turns
Christmas
me on.
cake land,
yeah, I'm almost a Christmas cake, almost.
me and Sam are extra Christmas cakes with
Soon.
extra cream filling and cherries on top, and
That's what's
So it'll
up.
be good for one
we're,
more
we're
day.
the
Is that
Christmas
what you're trying to
cakes
say?
like at the office that the office lady kind of eats, and she looks a little sad while she's eating it.
Meanwhile, I'm the young kid. I'm the young kid
HR
playing
woman.
in all of their yards, and they're yelling at me to get off of their damn yards.
Get off of my lawn.
Funny thing is, Mac's still
Get
probably
off
older than
my
a lot
lawn.
of anime fans. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So like one thing though for me, if I'm picking a show and like what I like the most, I kind of go along with all your points. Like it's got to look good, sound good. It's got to have good themes and all that. But it's got to be this. And this was said on the Weebcast or one of the PCP podcasts. They were talking about density. Like if it has a density of ideas. And they were saying, like, I think they were implying, like, it has to have a lot of different ideas. I think it can go the other way, too. If it has one idea that just goes really deep on that, then
I
the
like
show
the
can be good.
simplicity.
I like both versions. Like, if it can have multiple ideas and go deep, then it's great. Like, something like Legend of the
Well,
Galactic
I think
Heroes fits that bill
That'd be
right
in the
there.
nature of connecting those ideas together.
Yeah.
Was like as just in thinking of that Black Bullet, like the best moments in it were where it kept to this theme about the nature of the girls being a product of the invasion of these creatures that are killing the shit out of
Nah,
everybody.
I agree with that.
And how the society mistreats these girls, even though the girls are their biggest hope of safety from the scourge. And those scenes are like really powerful and they connect meaningfully, but then everything else is just kind of like a shit show. It's just like, whatever, let's just fucking blow shit
Yeah,
up. And you're just like,
let's blow shit up.
stupid.
Let's have villains that barely
Dude,
make
that's
any
like
sort
that's
of
like a 7
coherent
out of 10 right
sense.
there. 6 out of 10. That's how you score things.
But, talking about this, though, I mean, I think we can all agree, though, that a lot of us, or pretty much all of us, are saying, the same things that we can all agree on personally. It's just whenever it comes down to something like this, we're all going to rate, the importance of all of these different things differently.
Well, let me
And
just
I
pull
think
up my
that's-
spreadsheet. Glasses put.
In conclusion, everybody's taste is shit.
That's true, but we're not at the conclusion
Except
yet. are we?
mine.
Except mine.
We've got some
Except
time
mine.
left. The what was
There's,
I going to
there's
say?
no conclusion.
There's no conclusion.
The only conclusion is to watch more anime until your eyes bleed. Also, don't sleep. That's the other
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Here's how I decide how to watch a new show. I just say, how much time is in a day, and then how much do I have to sleep?
Mine's
I'm
almost
just like,
it's entirely on suggestion and hype for me in terms of picking a show, just because the things, as far as hype goes, if the show is hype, we have to talk about it. That's just
Yeah.
it. That's
Well,
what our job is as internet
I was gonna say,
commentators.
since we're on a podcast, that's true. But like, if you weren't on a podcast, would you still be watching the hype stuff just for
I
the sake
would
of argument?
probably be
I would-
watching a lot
I would at
less
least
current
check it
season
out.
stuff.
For example,
I would
like
check it out.
ReZero. Would you be watching ReZero
No.
if you weren't on the pod? Yeah. So like,
I'm barely watching it right now.
No,
and
that
I
was
love
one
certain
of the,
moments in it, but it just rubs me.
Yeah, that was the one that looked like a generic kind of.
I still think we
action.
should do an episode on that one, but that's a different topic.
Like, it's really good, and there's a lot of great moments in it. It just rubs me the wrong way, and I'll think about it more as I watch it to figure out what exactly it is, or if I'm just stupid. I might be just stupid. I'm probably just stupid.
It happens, we can be stupid.
Stupid is as stupid
We-
does.
We are only
And
humans.
Transformers the movie, man, the animated movie, better be stupid. What did I say? Better be stupid. That's all right. Better be stupid. It's Weird Al. Get wrecked.
GG.
It's when he wrote original music before he started doing all the covers.
Dude, the
Anyway.
covers are hype, though.
They are. They're top.
So, what was I gonna say? Oh yes. So like, as far as taste, are we talking about taste? Or are we talking about like what defines our taste? Like what
Yeah,
informs our taste?
like looking back, we kind of
Another way that like I found to find shows is just going on YouTube, like finding a certain number of reviewers or people that you trust, and just like reading or listening to their content or something. So for example, the Anime Summit podcast, we can give recommendations. But for me, like
Yeah.
I go to like Digibro, Anime Snob, Bob Samurai, a bunch of YouTubers, and they have all these
Giga,
videos.
Holden.
Yeah, and they have these
Mother's
awesome
Basement.
videos where they have they explore these themes and give you at least a surface level understanding of a lot of shows and like what makes them interesting. So that's a really good way for me to like find stuff that I want to watch, is like those big reviewers, the big, popular people. I don't really trust I don't trust any like aggregate
Except
list.
then
like
you
now.
have
Like,
things
I don't
where
trust that
people
ever.
fuck up, like Arcada saying that Gekon Shoujo isn't worth watching
Oh yeah.
because he's wrong.
Or like anybody who says Nisekoi is, oh, it goes slow. Wow, why don't they get together right away? It's a fucking comedy. Get over yourself. But like,
See, but that's one of the things that bugs me too about it.
yeah, well,
It-
you're being a little faggot about
because
it.
because of the fact that it doesn't just stick to the
Nice.
comedy either. It constantly has to like go back to
Yeah,
this.
that's
like,
but that's what makes it better.
has
Like
the
we were
key?
saying before,
Or
like you need a little bit of drama and comedy in the same show.
no, but it
If
needs
you just
to
have
be
one, it's not as
connected
good.
together,
See-
and this is it's so disconnected.
They're pretty
Is
connected.
what
It's
my
pretty
issue
connected.
is. No, they're tangentially connected.
That's close enough. That's all
in
you
that
need. It's
they
comedy.
involve the same characters. The themes are not played together.
Yes, they are. What are you fucking? All the comedy moments
No, it's
happen
just
because
it's
of
just
the romance.
arbitrary. arbitrarily.
All of them happen
Quokka,
because of the romance.
Quokka,
Like
do
when
you
they go to
need-
the
do you need
bathhouse, that's
closure?
comedy.
Do you
right
need
there.
closure on Nisekoi? Is that what this is about? Do you need closure?
I need one way or the other. I need to
do you
drop
need closure?
the whole
Do
key
you need to
thing.
know? Do you need to know how Nisekoi ends?
It hasn't ended yet. I know it's down to 2 girls, the obvious 2 girls.
Yeah, let's spoil
No,
it for
it's not.
everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, Mac, let's
the
spoil it.
obvious 2 girls. I
Then
think-
Everyone
wins.
dies.
wins.
Spoilers. Okay,
Is
we
it
gotta
over?
we gotta bleep that, dude.
Is
Does
it
she
over?
does
She
she
totally
really though,
wins.
Mac?
If it's over.
Does she really?
Yeah,
Fuck
she
yes,
wins.
dude. That's how it should be.
Wins. Gives up.
Yeah.
Gives up whenever she realizes they have feelings for each other.
Yeah, fuck.
Uh,
No, I'm glad it's.
She's got like one of the best character designs in anime. She has to win. Like that. Oh, that's
Yeah,
how you figure out
definitely.
who's the best character. Who is the best design?
This section is just gonna have to be a really long.
It's gonna
bleep.
be like. Well, no. Yeah, we should be like. Bleep wins. She has the best character design.
yeah, just throw in some bleep.
Every time we say bleep it or something, or add like a Wilhelm scream or something. But like,
Dude, that'd be fucking funny.
dude, that's what I'm saying though. Like, if it looks good, if the girls are cute and hot, 10 out of 10. That's how you pick shows. Forget everything else I said. Fuck density.
That's so surface
fuck,
level.
fuck reviewers.
yeah.
If they're
I mean,
kawaii, that's all.
What do
that
you think of
matters.
Phantom World? What do you think of mayonnaise?
Dude, mayonnaise is pretty good. Like,
Dude, mayonnaise.
I'm from Minnesota. That's my diet. Like, I put a little mayonnaise in my
Mayonnaise.
oatmeal and
Okay, you say man, it's mayonnaise. The fuck?
mayonnaise. What the fuck
No,
is your problem?
mayonnaise-sama. Mayonnaise-sama.
Mayonnaise.
Why are you saying mayonnaise?
It's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Okay,
It's
say
mayonnaise.
milk.
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 Oh my
God
fucking
damn it,
god,
Quokka.
Quokka.
Get the fuck out of here. We're gonna have to
Milk.
bleep. We're gonna have to
Milk,
bleep that,
milk.
man.
I just said that because you.
Okay, I thought you were being. I thought you were being.
Oh,
retarded.
I'm
you-
sorry.
you said
I
this
would.
before.
Can I please have a glass of milk?
Milk.
Just get the man some mock.
I asked you a question. Look at this picture.
Well, that's just right. Axe.
Look at
Axe
this
design
picture I
is
draw.
pretty
Picture.
good.
Get the man
I like
some
that.
Look at this picture.
I drawed a picture.
I draw it a picture.
Yeah, I mean, if you're drawing a drinking device, then, or a pitcher, a cup,
So
a bucket for
Uh,
water, a bucket for water.
okay,
A
so
bucket
yeah, fans, if
for
you have
water.
I drink out of a bucket.
recommendations of shows with minimalist design, I don't mean minimalist art style, though I could mean minimalist art style, but that's not what I mean.
I can give you
minimalist
some.
design.
Shit.
Tweet that at us. Also, if you have stuff that feels heavy, tweet that at us for Mac, and if you have stuff that's terrible, tweet that at us for Nick.
Do it.
And if you have stuff that's just, badass people with
Hipster.
badass hairstyles beating the shit out of each other,
Tweet
that
that
at us
would
for
be
some.
that's JoJo right there. Literally JoJo, but
Dude, that is literally JoJo.
That's true.
speaking of good anime,
So
the
Joe-
closer it is to
so Sam
JoJo,
is gonna
the
watch
better it is.
JoJo.
I
And,
have to finish
yeah.
watching the first season, but yeah.
And
Until
on
tweet
that
it-
bombshell, it
No,
looks
we got
like
time.
someone's gonna
we
have
still
to watch.
got time. It's like 42 minutes, right?
And join us on Discord at discord.animesummit.net. I know some people have been asking us about when it is. It's in the description of everything that you can find us on. So there's a link right there. You don't even have to type it yourself. You can just click it.
And Quokka, we need to do warships things. We need to get together on that.
We need to do that. We need to work on that whole project, that secret project.
Super secret project.
So
of us
final
being
thoughts
together.
then? Final thoughts, everybody?
Final thoughts.
I got
is,
one. I don't like
go ahead.
fake bitches, and that includes anime. So if you're a fake ass bitch anime with your fucking lipstick and your fucking makeup on a pig, I don't
Different
want
color
that
hair.
shit. I don't
Your
give a
French
fuck.
tip
I don't care what
nails.
color hair you got. But if you're putting sprinkles on a piece of poop, then I see through it. I fucking see through it, man. Like, don't try to fool me.
My final
Okay,
thought is that my cousin's son, he cosplayed Genos and won a cosplay contest. He had like the contacts and everything. It was badass. Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes.
If you
Nice,
got
nice.
if you know of any things that are like good about good design, whether that be books, podcasts, YouTube videos, like Every Frame of Painting and stuff like that, just good design and creation, you should send that to me because I love that stuff. I love that. shit.
Digibro, man.
That's not about
No.
design. That's about.
He's got a lot of
terrible
videos
taste.
about that actually. He's got a lot of pretty decent ones.
Also, make sure you send any new information that you find out about the EM Drive to us here at Anime Summit because we're legitimately interested in that.
The EM Drive is fucking. Have we talked about that on the show?
What is that? I actually don't
No,
know.
we haven't.
What is
Or
that?
at least I know Quokka and I are.
It's complicated. Look, everybody should look up the EM Drive. We'll not talk about it right now. Maybe some other time, just to nerd out. Special
Yeah.
episode.
Is that like the Emma Watson drive? Emma Matson?
It is the first step in
Emma
technology
Watson.
that will allow us to colonize the stars.
The Emma Watson
Oh,
Drive just
I
has
thought it
Emma
was-
Watson on the back of
I
it.
thought it was like a blood drive or something.
Leviosa.
No, the EM Drive like to drive an engine. Anyway,
Leviosa.
Leviosa.
the EM Drive is that first step in technology, that first technological hurdle that will allow us to like colonize other planets and stars. Because
Basically-
that is a necessary,
We
technology
Macross
to
now.
have.
We Macross now. So
and we
No, we
actually
Kerbal
had
Space
that.
Program
get
now.
your fucking
What are you talking
idols
about?
ready. If you're a young lady, become an idol and you can save the world.
We Kerbal now.
We
It's
Kerbal.
powered with friendship and music.
So yeah. I've been Quokka. With me has been Mac, Nick, and Sam. This has been the Anime Summit podcast.
Fucking hate writing.
Oh no, you guys. Okay, I know what it is. I know what it is because you guys were talking about it. But I didn't know